The freedom to speak your mind in the public square or virtual town square is vital to the health of the republic. And far too many Americans are being told what they can say, what they can hear, and what they can see. Censorship is on the rise. The desire of governments and powerful elites to control speech is hardly new, but America has always stood as the exception. Long before the Revolutionary War, Americans witnessed the oppression of speech. More than 1,200 times before 1700, the British prosecuted and punished Americans for what they called seditious speech. Sedition laws prohibited criticism of the government based on the idea that criticism could inflame the public against the government. But as the Revolutionary War approached, colonists began standing up for free speech. Colonial juries began refusing British requests to issue indictments for criticizing the government. They acquitted individuals accused of criticizing the government. They tossed tea into the harbor to protest taxes, and we printed publications denouncing the king. We were on our way. We, the American people, wanted to protect free expression of ideas, and we did so in the very first amendment to the Constitution. We protected it not just for peaceful times, but especially in times of crisis, or so-called emergencies. It's easy to forget how fortunate we are here in America to have the First Amendment and how terrifying it is to see how frequently now it's being violated. Recently, government actors colluded with big tech companies, some of the biggest companies and most powerful companies in the history of the world, to censor and deplatform individuals for not buying into the approved narrative. And whether you agree with that narrative or not is hardly the point. The point is, it's incredibly dangerous. Suppression of speech and censorship is justified now, as it has always been, but with a new lexicon, calling it misinformation or disinformation. But the goal is still the same: power and control. We saw the Department of Homeland Security recently attempt to set up an Orwellian disinformation governance board. We saw individuals silenced and suspended from platforms at the government's behest for challenging the validity of mask mandates and lockdowns, or for questioning the official narrative as the origins of COVID-19, for simply speaking their minds. It's not the government's job to tell us what we can hear or what we're supposed to believe. Each one of us can make those decisions ourselves, period.